Brody Dieter, but pass incomplete. And folks, I'm being told it's actually 3rd and 20, so it just goes to show how deceiving the angle is up here from the press box. So 3rd and 20 for RV here. Long distance for them to go with 10:36 remaining in the first quarter. First drive of the game for the Red Devils. They'll look to find one of their weapons here for sure to keep this drive alive. And if you're Eastern, dig your heels into the dirt and get off the field. Nick Marco with Bellamy to his left. And just as they begin to line up, whistles blow. Not exactly sure what that was. I think it was an equipment malfunction that the referee was highlighting before this play was set to go underway. Now whistles blow and play will continue. Good turnout here from both fan bases on a beautiful night. The sun is shining, and the sun not shining down right now on Nick Marco as he is sacked by multiple Eastern Vikings. One of them being number 59, a man that we heard from earlier, Miguel Maldonado. And just like that, it's 4th and forever, and RV will send the punt unit on. Brody Dieter, the punter for Rancocas Valley. He is standing in his own end zone right now, a position you never want to be in if you're a punter. Dieter, a great athlete. See if he's able to get this one off. Snap. Kick is away. Spinning, low trajectory. Will it get to the 50-yard line? We will see. It's continuing to roll, just passes the 50, and will settle down in between the 48 and 49-yard line, more like the 49-yard line, and that's where Eastern will start their first drive of the game. The Vikings, led by quarterback Logan Dawson. Dawson looking to add to the stat sheet tonight as he's only thrown for 45 yards on the season and 1 touchdown, 1 interception to his name. But at the same time, he's only been given 10 opportunities to throw the ball, so we'll see if Eastern looks to spread things out more tonight or if they rely on the running game. The running game is headed by Izzy Hernandez, who has 2 rush touchdowns on the year, 15 attempts for 133 yards. Eastern lining up with 3 receivers to the top of the screen, 1 to the bottom. And running back Israel Hernandez offset. Ball is given to Hernandez. And he has nowhere to go as the big man, another leader for this Rancocas Valley defense, Malachi Hanberry, is there to swallow him up. Flags fly on the play, however, we'll see what that's all about. It was 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line for Eastern. What will it be after this penalty? Face mask is the call against RV. Not the way you want to start a defensive drive if you're the Red Devils. A free 15 yards for, only a 5-yard penalty. Not sure. Things have changed severely since I was once in high school. Face mask was always a 15-yard penalty, but 5 yards, 1st and 5 for Eastern. Handoff. Goes up the middle. So number 1, Israel Hernandez, and Hernandez has more success on that carry than he did on his first, gaining some positive yards. Second and 4 for Eastern. Will they continue to look to give Izzy Hernandez the ball? Wear down this RV defense potentially? RV with 4 down linemen on defense. Not much penetration. Hernandez bouncing it outside. Getting enough for a first down for Eastern. Hernandez had the ability to just be patient back there, find his favorite hole, and get to it. Using that speed to get to the outside. First down for Eastern. Logan Dawson gets the snap. Hands it to Hernandez again. This time No yards on the carry. Chris Jones, Malachi Hanbury, and others in there on the tackle. Others being number 11, Gavin Keys. Second and 10 for Eastern, so no yards gained there by Hernandez as he steps off the field, looking to gain his breath after receiving multiple carries in a row. Snap to Dawson. Dawson gives it to his new running back. Believe that's number 24, Jordan Messino. We'll see as he gets up. Excuse me, number 34 on the carry, Caden Ruba. And Ruba able to gain 2, which will bring up 3rd and 8. Clock continuing to roll here in the first quarter. 7:24 and rolling. Dawson gets a snap, looks to pass. Bottom of the screen, finds his receiver. Immediately tackled on the play by number 20, Ryle Tibbs. It was number 17, Brian Thiel, on the reception. Not enough for a first down, however. 4th and 3, and Eastern looking to keep that offense out there on the field in a situation right now where they may not feel confident in the field goal, but you're too close to punt it. Got to keep that offense out there on the field, and they line up. The old wishbone. Not sure if they got enough on the carry. I can see Malachi Castle in there standing the running back up. And it will be a turnover on downs. Eastern keeping the ball on the ground there. Unable to pick up a first down, and RV breathes a deep sigh of relief as they were beginning to get backed up into their own territory. And now RV, with a sign of life, will start their second offensive drive. We'll go to a quick word from one of our sponsors. That would be Mount Holly Pro Day. Bill Gordon Mount Holly Pro Day dedicated its annual golf tournament in May to the memory of RV graduate Franco Harris. Franco was not only a Hall of Fame football player, but he gave back to the community in so many ways. Mount Holly was proud to rename Ridgeway Street as Franco Harris Way. Bill Gordon Mount Holly Pro Day has been an annual event established in 1998 to financially support area youth programs. From Pop Warner to Mount Holly's library, nearly 30 ex-NFL players have been honored. Bill Gordon Mount Holly Pro Day is also proud to support Rancocas Valley football in memory of Franco Harris. Carry there on first down. Went for negative yards. Will bring up 2nd and 11. Thought we were going to have time to go to an actual break there, folks. I do apologize. We will get another word in from Mount Holly Pro Day later on in the game. You rest assured that. 2nd and 11, and a false start will be called against Rancocas Valley as it looks like Malachi Castle moved just a bit early. Five-yard penalty will be assessed against Rancocas Valley as I can see their coaches over there moving that finger in a motion that says, let's keep going, let's not stall. They stalled out on their first offensive drive, had to punt. Brody Dieter able to flip the field and get it over the 50-yard line, but they would hope not to have to do that again. Nick Marco looking over to the sideline, now gets the snap and hands it off. Malachi Castle is the running back, and Malachi Castle, as he always does, trains through the middle of the defense and tries to gain back a lot of that penalty yardage that went against them on the previous play. 5:20 and rolling here in the first quarter, still 0-0 on the board. Both of these teams looking to make a bigger name for themselves in Group 5, specifically in the Memorial Division. As I mentioned earlier in the program, Rancocas Valley sits at 15th in the South Jersey Region Top 25 rankings, and Eastern is hoping to find themselves in that conversation very soon. Snap to Marco. Marco rolls out to the top of the screen, fires one and finds his receiver. His receiver has room, one tackler to beat, and he mows him over just shy of the 40-yard line. His receiver on the play, number 18, Eric Smith, the sophomore wide receiver and defensive back. Eric Smith introducing himself to the crowd here. But there seems to be Oh, nope, no flag on the play. RV will move their way down the field. Some confusion there, but no penalty once again, folks. And the ball is placed at the 42-yard line. Both Devin Dwana and Eric Smith, who you saw there on the last catch, receivers to the bottom of the screen here for Rancocas Valley. Oh, and they're going to be moving even further up. So, folks, at first there was a flag. Then we thought no flag. But there was a flag indeed, and it is a roughing the passer call against the Eastern Vikings, which moves the chains even further for Rancocas Valley. I'm done giving penalty yardage when there's penalty because it seems that I have no clue what it is. We'll go from there. Malachi Castro gets the carry and just absolutely leans into the tackler there on the play, number 34, Caden Ruba. But Caden Ruba, got to give him credit, stuck his nose in there and brought Castle down to the ground for only a gain of, it seems, 2 yards. 2nd and 8 upcoming. Now Eastern in a situation where they're finding themselves on the doorstep of their own end zone, and RV can taste the 6 points coming. Just a matter of who's it going to be given to, who's getting that first dish. Touchdown dish, that is. Devin Dwana, bottom of the screen. Tight end to the bottom of the screen as well. Brody Dieter, lone receiver to the top. Marco fumbles the snap. Can he get on it? Doesn't seem he can. Fumble recovered by the Eastern Vikings, number 7, John Brennan, and the captain makes the biggest play of the game thus far in Eastern's favor, flips the field with 3:41 left in the first quarter. Big play for Eastern. Parent Chief Chapels has been part of the greater Mount Holly community for more than 180 years. Community service and participation are both part of their heritage. When you have a need for their services, you can call 609-267-0399. Go to their website at parentchief.com or visit their offices at 438 High Street in Mount Holly. They are there to help honor the memory of your loved one. Parent Chief Chapels, proud supporter of the student athletes at Rancocas Valley High School. Back to play here, 1st and 10. And again, a penalty assessed. This time against Rancocas Valley. So before Eastern can even run an offensive play, they are gifted a penalty. Ball continuing to move, and it will be placed at the 39-yard line. Rather, the 45-yard line. My mind working backwards right now. Excuse me, folks. Ball snapped. Oh, and just dropped cleanly by Israel Hernandez. Logan Dawson could not have put it anywhere better for this receiver. Just an unfortunate set of circumstances there for Hernandez. Reminiscent of Kadarius Toney last night for the Kansas City Chiefs. 2nd and 10 upcoming for the Vikings. Two receivers bottom of the screen, one to the top. Chris Jones moving around on that defense. Lethal playmaker for Rancocas Valley. Hand off to Hernandez. Tries to bounce it outside. Spin move and immediately dragged down to the ground by Damian Peterson. Captain out there for Rancocas Valley. And excuse me, folks. Take a brief sip of water. The beauties of calling a game alone. 3rd and 9. Two receivers bottom of the screen, one to the top. And you've got to think on 3rd and 9, Logan Dawson going to have to utilize one of them. Rolling to the bottom. His target on the play was number 23, Colby Newkirk, but to be completely honest, didn't give his receiver much of a chance there, throwing the ball very low and towards Newkirk's feet. Folks, I believe there is another penalty on the field. Seen a lot of them thus far, and the first quarter has yet to end. And if you're a coach either Garrett Lucas or Lionel Bolin. One thing you're definitely stressing to your team throughout the week is discipline. Don't make the stupid penalty. Don't allow free yardage for your opponent. Right now, we've seen a decent amount of that from both sides. Got to hope that they're able to get that cleaned up as the game continues. 4th down and 9 here for Eastern. They bring the punt team on. And the ball is sent away. High arcing spinner. Decent friendly roll for Eastern. They finally touch it down. Punter on the play there was number 36, Brendan Galante. And yellow down on the field once again. What the penalty is, we have yet to find out. From here, it definitely seems to be a penalty against the punter. Just not sure if it was roughing the punter or running into the punter. Or if at a high school level, if there's even a difference. Because, folks, we've seen earlier in this game
Pre-loved, pre-approved, and new to you. Visit Miller Subaru in Mount Holly and get a great deal on a factory-certified pre-owned vehicle. Our certified pre-owned vehicles are all backed by Subaru and come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty, special financing, a free Carfax included, and 24-hour roadside assistance. Get all of the luxuries and peace of mind of a new car at an affordable price. Miller makes it better. Miller Subaru, Route 38 Mount Holly, 24/7 at millersubaru.com. Looking for a certified pre-owned vehicle? Miller Ford has a great selection to complement any lifestyle or budget. Plus, not just any car can be certified pre-owned Ford. Only the best cared for vehicles are chosen and then backed with Ford factory coverage, a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty, special financing, a clean Carfax report, and 24-hour roadside assistance. Find an affordable, reliable, and certified Miller Ford today. Miller makes it better. Route 38 Mount Holly and 24/7 at millerford.com.
So, folks, we had some technical difficulties there, excuse me, for just a brief moment, but a great job by our production crew to get those figured out. And we're back on the road. All you can do is move forward. Speaking of moving forward, RV's offense looking to do that after a big interception by number 5, Montre Wilson, the defensive back for RV, took place while we were experiencing those technical difficulties. But we're back. Glad to be back. If you're just joining us, or if you've been here the whole time, just want to reintroduce myself real quick. My name is Steven Anderson, and I'm glad to be here on the call for this matchup between Rancocas Valley and the Eastern Vikings. It's been a great game so far with 8:16 left on the clock here in the second quarter. Score shows 0-0 on the scoreboard. Right now, we have a conference taking place between head coach for Eastern, Lionel Bolin, and our head official. Rancocas Valley came into this game with a 2-0 record, led by head coach Garrett Lucas. Their big playmakers are as follows: Nick Marco, Jameer Bellamy, Malachi Castle, Brody Dieter, Chris Jones, Damian Peterson, Devin Duana, and many more. While on the side for Eastern, you've got guys like Logan Dawson, Izzy Hernandez, Brian Thiel, Bruce Magladry, Tristan Cephas, and others. Both play in the Group 5 Memorial Division specifically. Group 5, very competitive football here in South Jersey. Has been for years, myself once being a part of it. Finally getting some clarity here as the ball is advancing in favor of RV. The chains just flipped to first down as they move down the field as well. So it looks as if we'll have a first down for Rancocas Valley. Nick Marco and Jameer Bellamy are lined up in the gun. Defense for Eastern has yet to fully assemble. They're still leaking onto the field, taking that last bit of coaching from their defensive coordinator. Talked about this earlier in the game, but we've got a great turnout from both of these fan bases here on a beautiful night in Voorhees, New Jersey. Started off as a muggy day. Then it looked as if we were going to get some severe weather, although those clouds dissipated. And all of a sudden, the sun came out with about 15 minutes left till kick, and the sun has persisted up until this point. Got some great sponsors who we've heard from in this game so far. We will hear more from them. But we're back to play. Nick Marco gets the snap and has a receiver downfield open for a touchdown. First score of the game goes to Brody Dieter and the Rancocas Valley Red Devils. A beautiful dime from the hands of Nick Marco adds to his touchdown total on the season. Makes it 3. Brody Dieter, a weapon for Rancocas Valley. Swiss Army knife, puts 6 up on the board. And all of a sudden, Rancocas Valley on top here in the second quarter with 8:06 left. Man, Nick Marco can throw the ball. Fancy formation here for the extra point by RV. But when it all boils down, they're lined up to kick an extra point. And back there is their ace, number 22, Jamison Hollander. Looks as if RV has drawn Eastern offside, in which case you usually see RV put the offense out on the field, given that extra couple of inches makes all the difference in convincing Coach Garrett Lucas and his offensive coordinator to go for 2. And when you got a guy back there like Malachi Castle, who I'm sure that this ball is probably going to go to, just realized I condescended myself. You can't say you're sure and then say probably. It's going to Malachi Castle. Let's see it, folks. Oh, my gosh. I was wrong. Nick Marco on the quarterback keeper. Walks into the end zone. Not much resistance there from Eastern as everybody was fooled. I was fooled, folks, because I thought that one was going to Malachi Castle. 9 times out of 10 that goes to Malachi Castle, and I think that's what Coach Garrett Lucas thought everyone was thinking. So he pulled out the trick up the sleeve. Nick Marco fakes it, bootlegs, finds himself standing in the end zone for 2 points, and all of a sudden it's 8-0. First it was 6-0. Then the penalty took place on the attempted extra point. Drew RV just a bit closer to the end zone. And we'll read one of our ads from Find Your Fit. Are you overwhelmed by college application process? Well, unsure, well, look no further. Find Your Fit College Consulting is here to help. Run by an experienced college consultant, Find Your Fit offers personalized guidance to help you navigate your college journey. From identifying the perfect college, collaborating with NCAA experts to help you find the best fit for an athlete, to crafting compelling applications, they're with you every step of the way. Do not let the stretch of college applications hold you back. Reach out to Find Your Fit College Consulting today and take the first step towards your bright future. Visit findyourfitcc.org for more information. They are also on Facebook and Instagram. Find Your Fit College Consulting, because the right fit makes all the difference. RV, after the touchdown and 2-point conversion, will kick this ball away. Jamison Hollander approaches the ball on the tee and sends it away. Fielded cleanly. And a big tackle there. Number 3 on the return, Tristan Cephas, brought down by number 3, Aiden Kitts of the kicking team. And now Eastern will look to answer. Answer what, you ask? Answer that beautiful dime thrown by Nick Marco to his receiver, Brody Dieter. Logan Dawson definitely has what it takes to do so. First and 10 for Eastern. Whistle blown and a flag. We've seen many of them in this game to this point. If I were a betting man, I would say expect to see a lot more. 5-yard penalty goes against Eastern. And first and 15 now for the Vikings. Spin move in the backfield by Hernandez, just trying to avoid Malachi Castle. And as soon as he spun right into the hands of Malachi Hanbury. Malachi and Malachi there help each other out. 2nd and 16 now for Eastern. Hernandez losing a yard on that previous carry. Snap went to Logan Dawson, but just after the snap, whistles blew, and a timeout has been called on the field. First timeout of the game called for Rancocas Valley, and we'll go to an ad read from our next sponsor, Gillian's Wonderland Pier. It's not too late to go to Gillian's Wonderland Pier on 6th Street and Boardwalk in Ocean City. Wonderland is open tonight and tomorrow until 9 p.m., and Sunday from 1 until 6. They will be open each evening this week until 9, and the same hours again next weekend. Remember to save your unused tickets. They will be good for next season. The summer continues through October 8th at Gillian's Wonderland Pier, 6th and Boardwalk in Ocean City. Visit them online at Gillians.com. Back to play. 2nd and 16. Dawson with 3 receivers to the top of the screen decides to go to his receiver in the backfield in Israel Hernandez. And Hernandez, with not much room to work, no gain, and that will bring up 3rd and 16. Eastern has found themselves in a lot of third downs tonight. And to be fair, so is RV. RV slightly more successful in those situations than Eastern has been up until this point. Proof of that. Look at the scoreboard. Score is 8-0 in favor of RV. But that doesn't mean the script can't flip right now. Logan Dawson gets the snap. Evades pressure and just throws that ball to the sideline. Poor cheerleader got hit in the back of the leg while she was doing her best to entertain the fans. Just glad that she's okay. Certainly wasn't intentional from Dawson. Brings up 4th down. Punt team out for Eastern. Back deep to receive it. Number 21 for the Red Devils, Ryan Woodruff. Woodruff back pretty deep. Giving a fair amount of respect to the punter here for Eastern. Whistles blown on the snap. Hunter Davis, the punter, gave the ball back to the officials after getting the snap. Penalty goes against Eastern, sending them back another 5 yards. 4th and 21. This time Hunter Davis gets the snap. No whistles blown. Sends the punt away, and a very good punt from Hunter Davis. Fair caught, there by number 21, Ryan Woodruff. So Hunter Davis, terrific job there of using the leg to give Eastern some breathing room. And breathing room right now is exactly what they need with 6:25 left in the second quarter. Talk about some delicious popcorn. You can find that at Johnson's Popcorn in Ocean City and Delaware Valley, specializing in their delicious caramel corn. They're open all year at 1368 Boardwalk in Ocean City. Phone 1-800-842-2676 or go to online at johnsonspopcorn.com. Johnson's Popcorn since 1940. First and 10 for RV, and the handoff goes to Bellamy. Bellamy, speedster for the Red Devils, dragged down by his toe. Good tackle there and a way to hold on by number 3, Tristan Cephas. That minimal gain for Bellamy will bring up 2nd and 7. Just want to thank all of you folks that are out there watching on YouTube. Collaboration between SFBN and South Jersey Sports Talk, and I'm proud to be in the middle of it. My name's Steven Anderson, both your color and play-by-play commentator here on the evening. So thank you for bearing with me, folks. I try to do my best to call this action between Rancocas Valley and Eastern. That carry on the play was taken by Eric Smith, who we saw break one for about a gain of 30 in the first quarter. On that drive, RV would eventually fumble the ball and give it back to Eastern. But since then, RV has done a good job of putting some points on the board, giving themselves an 8-point lead. And here on 3rd and 6, they'll look to expand on that. Marco fires. Incomplete, just outside the reach of number 18, Eric Smith. A flag is down. We'll see what that's all about. Fan base here for Eastern pleading, you can't do that. Oh my gosh. Actually, it might have been the fan base and the student section specifically for RV, and they're all the way across the field. I thought it was Eastern's fan base given how loud it was. But you definitely can't do that. That's why pass interference was called, and that's why RV moves further on down the field. It's 1st and 10. Nick Marco drops back, pumps faked. Eventually fires. Lucky that one wasn't able to be tracked down inbounds by the defender. Brody Dieter was the intended receiver. Number 2 in coverage out there for Eastern. I believe that's number 2. Waiting to get confirmation on that. So tough to see all the way across the field sometimes, especially those maroon numbers on the Navy jerseys. Nonetheless, 2nd and 10. Malachi Castle, the running back, with no room to move. Immediately stopped there by a host of Vikings. And that's one thing that Eastern has done well tonight, and that's gang tackle. And when you've got running backs on RV's side like Malachi Castle and Jameer Bellamy and Montre Wilson, you've got to gang tackle, or else you're going to find yourself giving up a lot of big gains, and those big gains turn into points, and points turn into wins and losses in your case. So gang tackling is the recipe here if Eastern wants to continue to be in this game. 3rd and 10. Marco with Castle in the backfield. Marco kept it. Runs into the back of his offensive lineman. Able to bounce off and a fumble. Defender put his helmet right on the ball. That was number 23, Colby Newkirk. Colby Newkirk showing some real enthusiasm out there after making a tremendous play. Unfortunately for Eastern, they weren't able to come up with it. Fortunately for RV, they were. And that'll bring up 4th and 12. Got to assume that RV is going to punt the ball here with 3:30 and running left in this first half. Crazy set of circumstances there. Nick Marco, with one fumble to his name earlier in the game, overcame it with a beautiful touchdown pass to Brody Dieter a few drives later, but then nearly cost his team another turnover there. Just has to do a better job of protecting the football if he wants to win this game. Timeout, and the second timeout called for RV. 3:06 left. Go to a word from one of our sponsors. Shoppies is even better online. You may know their showroom at 103-1 Shore Road in Linwood, but you can never order what you need at Shoppy.com. Remember, you are not presenting the best trophy if it's not a Shoppy trophy. Phone 609-653-1684. Shoppies since 1921, starting a new century. Tell you what, being a resident of the Shore, very familiar with Shoppies. While we have a brief moment here before things get underway, my family, who hosts a tournament every year to raise money for the Sarcoma Alliance, has purchased many trophies from Shoppies directly through their website. So remember, you can always get what you need at Shoppies' website, and you can always get what you need at Shoppies at 103-1 Shore Road in Linwood. Fourth and 12. Ball snapped over the head of Brody Dieter. The absolute opposite of what you needed right now if you're RV. And just like that, Dieter loses the football again, able to get it back and finally just flicks it out of bounds. A desperate move there from Dieter to just not turn the football over. Lucky he was able to do that. Still a huge loss there for RV as they were looking to pin Eastern deep in their zone. Ball ends up going over the head of Dieter, the punter. Nearly disastrous. And there is a flag down on the field as well. We're going to get clarification on that in just a moment. Nearing halftime here. Your score is 8-0 in favor of Rancocas Valley. RV has done their best to keep Eastern in this football game with turnovers. They've had a couple opportunities to expand on their lead. Good field position where they've just turned the football over. In this situation, which you just saw unfold in front of your eyes, they were looking to flip the field and pin Eastern deep, and just weren't able to execute. So they will put their defense in a tough spot here with 2:57 left in the second quarter. And Eastern will look to capitalize on it. Logan Dawson and his offense just breaking the huddle on the sideline. They're trotting to the football for 1st and 10. First and 10. Hand off to Hernandez. Hernandez brought down by a host of Red Devils, and these officials continuing to make themselves known in this football game. On one hand, you want to see the officiating take place because you want to see a clean football unfold. On the other hand, there becomes a point where there just is too much involvement from the officiating crew, and it takes the pleasure out of the watching experience for not only you guys watching on YouTube, but for everybody in attendance here at Eastern High School. McAleer Stadium, the site for this one. That penalty went against Eastern, and it was a 5-yarder, which will make it 1st and 15. Logan Dawson fakes the handoff and is sacked. Malachi Hanbury and Gavin Keys will take credit for that sack. They've been disruptors all evening for Rancocas Valley, and they're continuing to do the same here on this drive. And a timeout called by Eastern. I guess while we got time, folks, go to an ad read from one of our sponsors. Find Your Fit. Are you overwhelmed by the college application process? Unsure of where to start or which college is right for you? Well, look no further. Find Your Fit College Consulting is here to help. Run by an experienced college consultant, Find Your Fit offers personalized guidance to help you navigate your college journey. From identifying the perfect college, collaborating with NCAA experts to help you find the best fit for an athlete, or crafting compelling applications, they're there with you every step of the way. Don't let the stress of a college application hold you back. Reach out to Find Your Fit and take the first steps toward your bright future. Visit findyourfitcc.org for more information. They are also on Facebook and Instagram. Back to play. And just as you saw on the last play, another sack. And involved on it once again was number 11, Gavin Keys. This time joining in was number 14, Chris Jones. And RV smelling the blood, continuing to attack like a shark in the water. It's 3rd and a mile. Logan Dawson just trying to get his offense back on the ball and stop the bleeding. If you're RV, you've got your ears pinned back here, and you're going to look to make a huge play on 3rd down. Logan Dawson decides it's a good opportunity to call another timeout. Wants to let Eastern catch their breath after that big loss. There's 1:26 left here in the first half, and it gives us another opportunity here from one of our sponsors. Parent Chief Chapels has been part of the greater Mount Holly community for more than 180 years. Community service and participation are both part of their heritage. When you have a need for their services, you can call 609-267-0399. Go to their website at parentchief.com or visit their offices at 438 High Street in Mount Holly. They are there to help honor the memory of your loved one. Parent Chief Chapels, proud supporter of the student athletes at Rancocas Valley High School. The first half has been a long one, given all the penalties we've seen. Despite that, it's been a pretty entertaining first half. Only 8 points on the board. Those points scored by RV and Eastern. Here on 3rd and long will look to match those points, but Logan Dawson throws it to the track, and it'll bring up 4th down. So Eastern, who's found themselves in situations where they've had opportunities to make big plays on offense, and either penalties or just miscommunications between one player and another have taken place, and that's what's really stymied them up until this point. They're definitely in this game. They've just got to stop taking themselves out of it. And on the other side of the ball, RV has done a lot of that themselves. Nick Marco nearly turning the ball over twice. Ball on the punt being snapped over Dieter's head. They've had their fair share of mistakes as well. It's really just that one touchdown drive that has allowed them to separate themselves from Eastern and give themselves some breathing room. On that drive, Nick Marco proved that he has arm talent because he threw a high arcer to his receiver, Brody Dieter, and Dieter was right there to bring it in for the touchdown. So if you're RV, you look to do more of that, and if you're Eastern, you look to just stop shooting yourself in the foot and get back in this game. Punt, sent away. Another good punt from Mr. Hunter Davis. And another clean, fair catch from number 21, Ryan Woodruff. 1-1-1 shows on the board with 1:11 left in this first half. Eastern rocking those navy uniforms with maroon numbers. RV wearing the all white with red numbers. Very easy to identify both of these squads here tonight if you're tuning in on YouTube. And obviously if you're here in person, you already know who you're rooting for. Probably have long-standing ties with one of these teams. That's what's beautiful about high school football in South Jersey. Punt once again by Hunter Davis. This time not fair caught by Ryan Woodruff. And a very fortunate set of circumstances there as Eastern is able to down the ball at the 1-yard line. But folks, you guessed it, a penalty is down. And I do believe it will go against Eastern and spoil their momentary party. Man, Ryan Woodruff has done a really good job back there for RV, fielding these punts cleanly, but that time got out of the way, thought it would probably roll into the end zone. It didn't. Eastern was able to down it at the 1-yard line. They could not get any closer to the goal line. Oh, but actually it seems as if this penalty was either waved off. Yeah, it had to have been waved off because the ball can't move any further into the end zone. And the RV offense is coming out, so there's not going to be a third punt. RV's going to take the ball from the inch line, and Eastern hope to make a big play here. That word safety definitely comes to mind, and if you're a D lineman especially, you're looking to make a statement here, drive an offensive lineman into the end zone, back into one of his ball carriers and disrupt this play. Marco under center, and he keeps it, just going to plunge forward, that old Jalen Hurts plunge the Eagles have made so famous. We're under a minute here in the first half. Eastern sending new linemen onto the field. Number 52, Ryan Brockie, and number 64, Umberto Qualar. And coming off the field for Eastern, number 54. That'd be Jacob Aguilar, and number 4, Sean Fitzpatrick. While that took place, RV got their play together. And it does seem as if Nick Marco's still communicating some aspects of that play to his receivers, Devin Duana and he. We're just communicating from a pretty decent distance. Duana, the receiver, to the bottom of the screen. Brody Diter to the top. Marco also administering some information to his running back, Jameer Bellamy. Bellamy, number 4. RV with a host of running backs that we've seen so far tonight. It's been Montre Wilson, number 5, who had a big interception on defense. Number 4, Jameer Bellamy. And, of course, number 0, the big man, Malachi Castle. All 3 of them provide something different to this RV offense, and they're all equally important. Jameer Bellamy, the RB in use right now, was hoping that whistle wouldn't blow and that he'd be off to the races, but the whistle did, in fact, blow. Bellamy only with a gain of 1. It'll bring up 3rd and 7. RV still in a dangerous situation here, given that they're right on the doorstep of their own end zone. And we've seen so far they've made mistakes with the football in their own hands. Cannot afford a turnover here if you're RV, and I'm sure that might be why the RV just called their 3rd and final timeout, to assess things, make sure that everyone's on the same page, and make sure that they know the number 1 objective here is to value the football. If you're Eastern, one thing that you're definitely expressing to all of your guys in the huddle, if you're the defensive coordinator, is get after that football. RV has proven to be sloppy with it, so you've got to be telling your guys to strip that football, continue to put your helmet right on the football when you're making tackles. Obviously, you want to be tackling with good form. But if you're Eastern, you've got to be hungry for this football here. I would imagine RV to keep this on the ground here. We'll see which running back they come out with. It does seem as if Jameer Bellamy is lining up as a receiver on this play. Split out all the way to the top of the screen. RV going with the empty look. 3 receivers to the bottom of the screen, 2 to the top. Marco, the lone man in the backfield, receives the snap, looks to the top of the screen. Thought he was going to scramble for a moment. Finally throws a prayer up to Diter, and Diter, who did come down with it, although I don't believe he was able to drag that toe, brings up 4th and 7. 4th and 7 with 19.8 seconds left in the first half. A first half that has drug on slightly because of the amount of penalties that have taken place. 19.8, though. That gives Eastern some time to do something if they're able to find themselves in some decent field position. Oh, and I thought Rancocas Valley had called their 3rd and final timeout just a few plays ago. I must have had that wrong, though, because our PA announcer here just let us know that RV just took their 3rd and final timeout. So apologies for that, folks. Must have been Eastern who called that previous timeout. Beautiful night here for high school football in South Jersey, here at McAleer Stadium. Fan base is out in droves for both of these high schools tonight. And at its core, high school football is all about developing these kids and the young men. We all know that. But on the surface, you get to see some great football unfold. Diter hoping that this snap doesn't go over his head, I'm sure. Got it in the chest and able to get off a clean punt. Fielded cleanly by the returner for Eastern, who shimmied and shaked and broke a tackle or two. Tristan Cephas brought down after about a gain of 5 on the return. And after Cephas's moves there on the play, it leaves Eastern with 8.6 seconds left. So you'd imagine that they'd have time to maybe run 2 plays here, depending on how fast they can get the first one off and where that ball ends up landing. Not to make a joke of it, because I really mean it in all seriousness, but Logan Dawson has done a good job this evening of showing that he's able to throw the ball out of bounds into the track. So if he's needed to do that here to sacrifice some clock and have an opportunity to run a second play, then maybe that's what he'll have to do. Logan Dawson in the gun with Israel Hernandez lined up to his left. Dawson back, rolls out. What will he do? He throws it out of bounds. And just as I stated, although it didn't go to the track, it did get out of bounds, and it leaves him with 4.1 seconds left, which is enough time for another play. So live to fight another down. If you're Logan Dawson, just did not have the time there as the defensive line for RV was getting after him. That defensive line, a very, very tough crew there for RV. It all starts there with number 99, Malachi Hanbury. Lined up to his left is Malachi Castle. Inside next to Hanbury is Gavin Keys. And then to the bottom there, that defensive end rounding things out is Mike Gerbavic. They cause havoc. Oh, my God, and speaking of causing havoc, to end the first half, Malachi Hanbury brings down Logan Dawson for a sack. 8-0 is your score going in the half. Rancocas Valley leads. Folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the second half in about 10 minutes.
Looking for a certified pre-owned vehicle? Miller Ford has a great selection to complement any lifestyle or budget. Plus, not just any car can be certified pre-owned Ford. Only the best cared for vehicles are chosen and then backed with Ford factory coverage, a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty, special financing, a clean Carfax report, and 24-hour roadside assistance. Find an affordable, reliable, and certified Miller Ford today. Miller makes it better. Route 38 Mount Holly and 24/7 at millerford.com.
McAleer Stadium in Voorhees, New Jersey. My name is Steven Anderson here on this collaborative call on YouTube between SFBN and South Jersey Sports Talk. So far in this matchup between the Rancocas Valley Red Devils and the Eastern Vikings, there's only been 8 points scored. Those 8 points credited to RV, more specifically Nick Marco and Brody Dieter, as Nick Marco was able to connect with his receiver on a roughly 30-35 yard reception that again put RV up 6-0, and very shortly after that they were able to convert on the 2-point conversion, bringing the total to 8. RV, first team back out on the field in the second half, showing that they're eager to get things going. No sign of Eastern just yet. Again, lone points in this game scored by Nick Marco and Brody Dieter, but a lot of work has taken place to allow that to happen. Big playmakers all over the field for RV. Some of those guys include Malachi Castle, Jameer Bellamy, Chris Jones, Malachi Hanbury. More of those guys include Gavin Keys. Montre Wilson had a huge interception in that first half. So guys all over the field making an impact for RV. And on Eastern side, Logan Dawson, Izzy Hernandez, the two leaders for the Vikings on offense, have done some good things. They'll look to compound on that, continue to do good things in the second half and score some points. Really, folks, that's the story. If you're RV, you look to continue, add on to this lead. If you're Eastern, you look to do a lot of the things that you did in the first half that you found success in, eliminate those mistakes, and you could very well find yourself back in this game sooner than later. Things should resume soon. Got 3-minute timer on the clock, although it has yet to start ticking. So I think what we're waiting for, folks, is Eastern to get back out on the field. Then that 3-minute clock will start ticking, and then I believe the second half will kick off. So we'll take another momentary break, but we'll be right back with the start of the second half. Don't go anywhere. Folks, because we have this set of unusual circumstances where, and just as I begin to say that, Eastern has come back out onto the field. What I was preparing to say was usually there's never that long of a lull from first to second half, but Eastern must have just been putting the finishing touches on their game plan, because now they have arrived on the field and they look excited, which is a great sign for them. Definitely like to see that. Sometimes when you go down, come out in the second half, you don't have that same fire that you had to start the game. But Eastern saying, screw the scoreboard. We're here to play, we're here to stay, and we're here to defend our home field. That 3-minute clock that I had mentioned earlier is continuing to tick. nearly at 2 minutes. I'll talk to you, folks, right when the second half is about to kick off. Second half about to kick off. Excited for it. RV received the opening kick, so they will send this one away to Eastern. We've seen the RV kicking game one time. Game, not the right word to use. I should say we've seen the RV kicking team. Jamison Hollander and company had come out because they scored that touchdown. So this will be the second time we've seen the kicking team for RV. Jamison Hollander, quite a kicker in his own right. Very talented player. Does not do the punting for RV. That is done by Brody Dieter, and Brody Dieter had the ball snapped over his head on one occasion earlier, which made it very tough for him to punt the ball. Ultimately, he was not able to do so, flicked the ball out of bounds in a last-ditch effort to just avoid turning the ball over. So we've got a fresh 12 minutes on the clock here at McAleer Stadium. The return team for Eastern is set. The kicking team for RV is huddled. They break that huddle, and Jamison Hollander has the ball teed up. Been a lot of anticipation for this second half kick. We've had some delays. We've had some technical difficulties. We've had a lot of adversity, but adversity, folks, it only makes you stronger. So I'm here for it. Here for it are these fans as well. Not many of them left their seats at halftime because there was a very entertaining show that took place from the Eastern band. Credit to Eastern's band. Jamison Hollander kicks the ball away to the back line for Eastern. The return, a fairly successful one for Eastern. Finally brought down by a couple Red Devils, one of those Red Devils being number 44, Daquan Williams. Daquan Williams, very talented special teams player and role player for RV, continually finding his nose around the football. Quickly touching on what RV and Eastern have done so far on the season. RV coming into this game with a 2-0 record. Eastern with a 1-1 record. So we'll see if RV is able to continue to stay undefeated or if Eastern can up their record to 2-1. In the fourth quarter, we'll talk about what these teams have to look forward to next week. Jet sweep to the top of the screen. And folks, one of the themes of the first half was that yellow flag that you so desperately hope to see very few of if you're a viewer or even a player for that matter on one of these teams. But on the first offensive play of the second half, we've got a face mask called against RV. And see, this is where my confusion lies, because earlier there was a face mask that was called, I believe in the first quarter I said 15 yards. They moved the ball 5 yards. This time I was prepared to say I learned from my lesson, or I learned from my mistake, which would be a lesson. I was about to say it would be 5 yards assessed against RV's defense, and all of a sudden the ball moves 15 yards. So I cannot keep up with this officiating crew. But honestly, I can't keep up with the rule books in South Jersey, so I'm going to leave that to somebody else, and I'm just going to call the football I see. 1st and 10. Ball not handled cleanly by Logan Dawson, but able to get it back. Sacked by number 19 for the defense, Mike Gerbavic. And Gerbavic, a hound back there chasing down Logan Dawson. I bet you his first thought was, ooh, I want that football. But as soon as Logan Dawson came up with it, his next best option was to make a sack. 2nd and very long for Eastern. So after the face mask penalty called against RV gave Eastern some extra yards, that mistake by Logan Dawson and company cost them some yards. Not much on the carry for Eastern. Hernandez, the main ball carrier for that club, with only a gain of about 2, will bring up 3rd and very long. RV shuffling off personnel. Eastern doing the same. Just over 10 minutes left to play in the 3rd quarter. Just a bit of sunlight left here at McAleer Stadium. The light shining bright, and soon it will be pitch black. It's amazing how in September that sun still continues to shine so late into the night. Been experiencing that heat wave. I'm sure you have over the last couple of days. We've all been basking in it. And basking in it is that defense for RV, because they just caused a 4th down for Eastern. And number 21, Ryan Woodruff, back to receive the punt again. He's done a very good job this evening of either fielding it cleanly or getting out of the way to avoid touching that ball and allowing Eastern an opportunity to recover it. Steering his man out of danger. Doing the right thing was Woodruff. Downed by Eastern. And RV will start their first offensive drive of the second half. 9:07 on the clock. Want to go to a read from our Mount Holly Pro Day sponsor, Bill Gordon, Mount Holly Pro Day, dedicated its annual golf tournament in May to the memory of RV graduate Franco Harris. Franco was not only a Hall of Fame football player, but he gave back to the community in so many ways. Mount Holly was proud to rename Ridgeway Street as Franco Harris Way. We'll get back to the rest of that ad read right after this play by RV. Ball handed off to Malachi Castle. Castle forging his way forward for a big gain on 1st down. Back to Bill Gordon Mount Holly Pro Day, which has been an annual event established in 1998 to financially support area youth programs, from Pop Warner football to the Mount Holly Library. Nearly 30 ex-NFL players have been honored. Bill Gordon Mount Holly Pro Day is also proud to support Rancocas Valley High School football in memory of Franco Harris. Seems as if the penalty on this play is going to be a dead ball foul against Rancocas Valley. Add it to the list of penalties that have been called in this game. Ball finally placed down after the penalty yardage. Still a conference taking place between these officials in the center for Rancocas Valley. Center number 78, Hunter Matthews. Ball handed off to Malachi Castle on 2nd and long, and Castle unable to find much room to work. Third and long. So after that handoff to Castle, RV finds himself in a precarious position. My first thought here is try to make a play downfield to Brody Diter. Diter has proven on several occasions that he's able to get past his defender and be open for a big play. But let's see what RV draws up. Nick Marco looks to the bottom of the screen in Diter's direction, but he fires one to Dwana, and Dwana makes a fabulous catch, but Dwana fumbled the football. Did it get out of bounds? It's RV's football. Devin Dwana, one lucky football player out there on that field. Man, he made such an impressive catch and then nearly turned the football over. But luckily that ball rolled out of bounds. Devin Dwana, so lucky that he didn't cost his team the football there. It rolls out of bounds right at the 45-yard line. Still the ball in Rancocas Valley territory. But so lucky there are the Red Devils that they did not lose the football. 1st and 10. Hand off to Castle. Castle using that stiff arm and leaning forward. Tackled finally by number 58, Dominic Parrish. Parrish now coming off the field, being subbed in for by Aiden Travaglini. 2nd and 2. Another dose of Castle for this defense, and Castle steamrolling the defender there. But again, number 34, who we've talked about on a couple occasions tonight, Caden Ruba, just sticks his nose in there and brings Castle down to the ground, although unable to do so before Castle can get a first down. It's 1st and 10. Ball snap. Castle again. 3rd carry in a row. And again, tackled by number 34, Caden Ruba. Tell you what, I'm quite impressed with Caden Ruba and his ability to make tackles on defense. He is a fearless tackler. With his smaller stature, you don't always see it. Ball faked to Jameer Bellamy, and Marco had an open receiver. Ricky Doppler was there waiting the catch, but Doppler did not expect Marco to put it over his head. And because of that, brings up 3rd down. Man, I bet you that's one that Nick Marco is just begging to have back. We'll see if his coaching staff gives him an opportunity to get it back here on this play. RV leading 8-0 with 6 minutes and 29 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Time stopped because of that incompletion. Clock will now roll as Bellamy receives the handoff, and Bellamy unable to get the first down. Gain of 2 brings up 4th and 5. RV right now with the offense still on the field. And folks, I gotta say it, I believe we just made it through one drive without a penalty flag. Seems like a first. Fourth and 5. Offense still out on the field for RV. Nick Marco, Jameer Bellamy. That time, though, the job being done by Nick Marco and Brody Diter. That connection continuing to make big plays for RV. Just a quick outlet pass from the hands of Marco to Diter, and Diter did the rest, showing some wiggle and picking up the first down. 1st and 10 for RV. Ball placed on the far hash. Marco, snap. Bellamy gets the handoff. Bellamy bounced that one to the far side of the field. Oh, Whistle blew, and that pack continued to move backwards. Bellamy slammed down to the ground. And after the amount of flags we've seen so far in the evening, I'm shocked to not see one in that circumstance. But things continue. It brings up 2nd and 9. Official timeout because we have an injured player down on the field. Because of that, we'll take a momentary pause in the action. Be right back, folks.
Looking for a certified pre-owned vehicle? Miller Ford has a great selection to complement any lifestyle or budget. Plus, not just any car can be certified pre-owned Ford. Only the best cared for vehicles are chosen and then backed with Ford factory coverage, a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty, special financing, a clean Carfax report, and 24-hour roadside assistance. Find an affordable, reliable, and certified Miller Ford today. Miller makes it better. Route 38 Mount Holly and 24/7 at millerford.com.
Glad to see the player for Eastern make it up cleanly off the field and get to his sideline. I say it all the time when I'm on the broadcast, but the last thing we would like to see as viewers and as lovers of this game of football is injuries. So glad to see that Eastern player is okay. Another turnover for Rancocas Valley. Eastern recovers the fumble. Eastern will take over on downs. Fumble recovered by, I believe, trying to get a read on the number here. As it gets darker, folks, it gets tougher to see those maroon numbers on the Navy jerseys, but that was number 34, Caden Ruba, the man himself, the playmaker for this Vikings defense. Time and time again, he's been on the receiving end of a shoulder from Malachi Castle, and time again he said, I'm going to eat that, and I'm going to bring you down to the ground, Mr. Castle. And this time he gets paid for his efforts with a fumble recovery. RV defense back out on the field. Offense for the Vikings, led by Logan Dawson. Snaps the ball. Malachi Castle and a few of his teammates just ripping the ball carrier down to the ground there. No gain on the play will bring up 2nd and 10. Tough sledding there for the running back for Eastern. Just referenced it a moment ago, but it's really tough in some situations to get a read on these Eastern players' numbers. I'm going to have to get myself a pair of binoculars just because these maroon numbers really blend in with the Navy from a distance. This time, no mistaking the playmaker for Eastern, number 13. Terry Cook with a huge reception and a first down, moves the chains. Supporters of Eastern and those on the sidelines wanted a flag because they thought that there was some action that took place out of bounds, maybe a late hit. Their prayers went unanswered. No flag, it's 1st and 10, and a handoff right up the middle from Logan Dawson to Ruba. And Ruba gains 4 yards on the carry, brings up 2nd and 6. So Ruba not only making plays on defense, but making some plays on offense as well. Hand off to Ruba, but Hanbury right there to swallow him up. Man, I love the play of Malachi Hanbury. That kid is a baller. Constantly doing his job on the defensive line, plugging holes, making sure that no one's able to get through the center of that line. And because of that, it's 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6 roughly. And we'll take another momentary pause because yet another Viking is down on the field. You know, folks, actually, instead of taking a break, I think we're going to go to one of our ad sponsors. That would be Gillian's Wonderland Pier. It's never too late to go to Gillian's Wonderland Pier at 6th Street Boardwalk in Ocean City. Wonderland is open tonight and tomorrow until 9 p.m. and Sunday from 1 until 6. They will be open each evening this week until 9 in the same hours again next weekend. Remember to save your unused tickets as well because they will be good next season. The summer continues through October 8th at Gillian's Wonderland Pier at 6th and Boardwalk in Ocean City. Visit them online at gillians.com. Tell you what, before play resumes, that was always one of my favorite places to go when I was a kid. Ride that log flume, go on the Ferris wheel, maybe ride Mr. Thomas the Tank. Tons to do there for the family. Visit Gillian's Wonderland Pier. Logan Dawson gets rid of that one on 3rd down, threw it out of bounds, and a flag flies from the back judge. Personal foul assessed against RV for roughing the passer. And just another mistake from RV. Tough to swallow, folks, because RV, such a talented team. A lot of senior leadership. Has made a ton of huge plays here this evening. But just continually making it tough for themselves in every department. Either turning the football over, drawing penalties, or rather I shouldn't say drawing penalties, committing penalties. You name it, RV has done it to themselves and made it tougher for themselves to win this game, although they still are clinging on to an 8-point lead. Official timeout for a 3rd injury in this quarter for Eastern. With 2:28 left in the 3rd quarter. We'll go to one more word from one of our sponsors. This time, we're talking some Johnson's Popcorn. It's well known all over the Delaware Valley, specializing in their delicious caramel corn. They are open all year at 1368 Boardwalk in Ocean City. Phone them at 1-800-842-2676 or go online at johnsonspopcorn.com to place your order today. Johnson's Popcorn since 1940. And don't forget about Shoppies. They're even better online. You may know their showroom at 1031 Shore Road in Linwood, but you can order whatever you want at Shopee.com. I talked about it earlier, but my family on countless occasions has ordered from Shopee.com. So remember, you are not presenting the best trophy if it's not a Shopee trophy. Phone them at 609-653-1684. Shoppies since 1921, starting a new century. Man, so many good sponsors that we hear from on a week in and week out basis here on SFBN and South Jersey Sports Talk. Talking Mount Holly Pro Day, which again, dedicated to Franco Harris. Such a great event there. Parent Chief Chapels has been a proud supporter of Rancocas Valley High School football for what seems like ages at this point. Find your fit, always there to help you find your best fit when it comes to your college experience. And then, I mean, we talked about it, but Gillian's Wonderland Pier is such a fabulous place to take the family, take the kids for a good time. Johnson's Popcorn always fills the belly nicely. And Shoppies is your best place, the only place to get trophies, or you're just doing it wrong, folks. So player limps off the field for Eastern. Gotta hope that he's okay. That's number 56, Tyler Russin, who's been fighting his behind off tonight. Handoff goes to a new running back here, John Brennan, who we saw make a huge play earlier on the fumble recovery for Eastern. This time receives his first handoff of the game, rumbling and stumbling for a gain of about 7 yards, brings up 3rd and 3. Gotta wonder if they'll feed that man again. Maybe start a new trend. Get John Brennan going on offense. Fake to Brennan. Screen pass. And a great job of standing the receiver up right after the reception by Brody Diter. Will bring up 4th down. The receiver on the play, number 13, Terry Cook, who made a big play along the sideline bottom of the screen not too long ago. 4th down. 4th and 3, so no gain on that reception by Cook. Folks, I don't know why, but I just started to sense a palpable energy beginning to develop here at McAleer Stadium. We're approaching 1 minute left in the third quarter. Eastern starting to drive. Oh, my gosh. And just as I say that, swallowed up is Logan Dawson by number 1, Damian Peterson. He's a captain for a reason, folks, because he makes big plays when it matters most. Flips the field for RV. New set of downs with 58.4 seconds left in the third quarter. Man, what a play by Damian Peterson. Doesn't get enough credit. Really doesn't get enough credit because not only is he a terrific leader, but he makes the timeliest of plays. You know, it doesn't get through that first set of defenders for RV very often, given that they got Hanbury and Castle and guys like Keys up there. But when it does, Chris Jones and others, specifically Damian Peterson, are always there to clean it up. Loss on the play brings up second down for RV. Gotta wonder if RV will be content with just letting some clock run, maybe run one more play here in the third quarter and just take things to the fourth. We'll see what their approach is very shortly. Got an offset H-back in the backfield in Daquan Williams. We've seen him line up in that position a few times tonight. Fakes the handoff, does Marco. Marco finds Dieter. Dieter breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, pushed out of bounds finally by the third defender for Eastern. Took 3 guys to finally stop Dieter. Tell me if you've heard this story before, folks, but we've got another injury for Eastern. Player down. We'll take a momentary break. So punter for the Vikings, number 11, Hunter Davis, was the player down. And you definitely don't want to see your punter experiencing a leg injury. So we'll hope to see Hunter Davis improve in his status, see him hang around in this game. But until we get a verdict on that, it's 3rd and 5 for RV, and a big play here for RV's offense. 11.5 seconds left in the third quarter. Fake handoff to Malachi Castle. It's a quick bubble pass after that fake handoff to number 18, Eric Smith. And Eric Smith has been on the receiving end of a few big passes from Nick Marco today. Not only Dieter getting it done on the receiving end of Marco's passes, but also got to account for Eric Smith if you're this Vikings defense. 1st and 10, 4.7 seconds left in the third quarter. Nearly time to get those fists up in the air. Such a tradition at all levels of football, either throwing those fists up or throwing those 4 digits up, indicating the start of the fourth quarter, indicating it's time to find something deep within your gut. If you don't already have it readily available, you need to pull it from within you and muster up that strength to get through it and find your team on the successful end of things. That's the end of the third quarter, and it's 8-0 in favor of Rancocas Valley. 12 minutes of football left to play. It'll be second down for RV when we come back in just a moment. Fourth quarter action set to get underway. McAleer Stadium, Eastern Vikings, Rancocas Valley Red Devils. That's what we've got on the slate right now. Thank you if you're joining us on YouTube. This broadcast brought to you by SFBN and South Jersey Sports Talk. And I am your commentator, Steven Anderson. Glad to be on this ride with you. Handoff just went to Malachi Castle. Malachi Castle was hoping for a first down, did not attain that, and it'll bring up third down and a long 3. So on 3rd and 3, RV with an 8-point lead to their name, and the ball just past the 45-yard line of the Vikings. What will RV do? RV gives it to Smith. Smith weaves, gets to that second level of the defense. Nearly thought Smith was going to take that one all the way. Smith showing some lethal speed. And another injury for the Vikings. 1st and 10 for RV, but first we'll attend to the injured player down on the field. Back after another injury for Eastern this time. Number 1 making his way to the sideline, their running back, Israel Hernandez. Hate to make light of the situation, but soon Eastern's going to have to find themselves drawing from the waiver wire because they're running out of bodies. Just a little fantasy football jargon there for everyone who's excited for the NFL season set to take place. Well, it already took place last night, actually, in that matchup between the Lions and the Chiefs. Chiefs losing by 1 point after some really costly drops on behalf of the receiving core for the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes putting the ball where it needed to be. Kadarius Toney and company just not taking care of business, and the Lions getting their first win of the season in big fashion. But back to this action taking place at McAleer Stadium, and that handoff on 1st and 10 went to Malachi Castle. After that carry on the play by Malachi Castle, brings up 2nd and 7. Excuse me, 2nd and 6. I shorted the man a yard. So on 2nd and 6, Marco gets a snap, faked it to Malachi Castle, and getting knocked out of bounds in a precarious way was the tight end who received the ball there from Marco. Hauled it in was number 87, Ricky Doppler, and Doppler, who was the intended receiver on a Marco throw earlier, and it just went over his head in the middle of the field. This time, Marco finding his tight end in Doppler. Those guys connecting, and Doppler making it worth Marco's time. Gets the first down. RV on the porch of the Eastern end zone. 10:37 left in the 4th quarter. And, folks, I dare to say it, this could be a dagger drive if RV is able to put this in the end zone, just given the way we've seen this game unfold thus far. Jameer Bellamy bouncing one outside, cutting it back inside. Very impressive run there from Jameer Bellamy, showing off his fancy footwork. Jameer Bellamy Folks, I paused because I was waiting to see what was going on the far sideline, and what's going on is there's a body down for Eastern. We'll take a brief break. First and 10 for RV. This time, number 34, Caden Ruba, the injured player for Eastern. Coach Lionel Bolin just scratching his head, wondering what he's got to do to keep his guys healthy. A whole slew of Eastern Vikings now falling victim to injury. And RV charges on. First and 10. Jameer Bellamy receives the handoff. They love giving Bellamy the ball on those outside zone runs, kind of just letting him find the crease, find his groove, and just hit it, as opposed to telling him, hey, hit the A gap, hit the B gap, and hit it right away. That's for Malachi Castle. And Malachi Castle does that exceptionally well. Would not be shocked to see if they go to that right here, right now, on 2nd and 5. The official moving his hands to let Marco know how much time is left on that play clock, because right now RV's in a situation where they're just trying to let as much time drip off this clock as possible. As I say that, they did give the ball off right up the middle to Malachi Castle, but it did not go the way they would have liked it to. He was blown back for a loss of about 5, if not 4. So 4 to 5 yards lost on the play by Malachi Castle brings up 3rd and 9. 3rd and 9. 9:26 and rolling here in the 4th quarter. RV still with an opportunity to add to their lead and potentially put this game to bed. Motion man receives the handoff. Spinning and then hit hard was 18, Eric Smith, a man we've heard from a few times on that jet sweep. 4th down for RV. Basically right there, they gained back the yardage that Castle had lost on his carry the play before. Puts them in a situation where they're going to be able to attempt a field goal. Jamison Hollander and the field goal unit rolling onto the field. The holder, quarterback Nick Marco. Nick Marco tries to draw that defense offside. They held their water. Jamison Hollander sends it, and it does not go through the uprights. Kick is missed by Hollander, and with 8:33 left, Eastern will get the ball back. Eastern finding themselves all of a sudden right back in this one because that field goal would have put them down by 2 scores, and with 8:33 left, they might just not have had enough time. But now, field goal missed. A 1-score game on our hands, and Eastern will look to take full advantage of it. Logan Dawson gets the snap. Hands it to his running back. Not sure if that was Hernandez. We did see Hernandez go down with an injury earlier. Not sure if he made his way back into this football game. He did. So that was Israel Hernandez on the carry. Glad to see he's healthy. Folks, I know I promised earlier in the game that we would talk about what these teams have in store after today's game. Again, RV looking to improve to 3-0 on the year. Eastern hoping to improve to 2-1. Pump fake by Logan Dawson. Then sends it on the screen pass to his receiver. That would be number 13, Terry Cook. And the fans got extremely excited here for a second because it seemed as if Cook may be able to stay in bounds and book that one down the sideline for a touchdown. But Cook, unable to keep the footwork alive, that balancing act becomes very tough there on the sideline. And Cook, with a great gain for Eastern, hopes to start some momentum for he and his team. Not much on the gain there. Gavin Keys on the tackle. So Eastern, like I said, looking to improve to 2-1 in this game. If they're able to pull off this come-from-behind victory on RV, they will do so, and they will face Hamilton next week on September 14th. Hamilton, up until today, not sure what their result will be after this evening, but they were 1-1 coming into today, led by head coach Jim Rosso. That one will take place at Highland. After this play, we'll get into what RV has to look forward to next week as well. Handoff to Hernandez. Hernandez forging his way right through the center of that defense for a gain just shy of a first down. Will bring up 3rd and 2. RV, if they're able to get out of this one with a victory and take their record to 3-0, they'll face Timber Creek next week, led by head coach Brian Wright. That one will take place on September 15th. Timber Creek up until today was 2-0. So if both of those teams could stay undefeated after today, we'll have a huge one on our hands next week in RV's home opener. But back to the action that's taking place right now. 6:37 and moving. Fourth quarter is upon us. 3 receivers and a trio stack to the top of the screen for Logan Dawson and the Vikings. Hand off to Hernandez. Hernandez with that arm out in front, just trying to steer his lineman in front of him. Gain of about 4 on the play for Hernandez brings up 2nd and 6. This RV defense has held tough all night long, making plays when they needed to. Can they do the same here on this drive, which seems like it could be their last effort of the game because of the way this clock continues to tick? Hanbury there trying to drag the ball carrier back. The ball is in the hands of Chris Jones. Whistles have not blown. Chris Jones. Wait, maybe whistles have blown. Fans in the Eastern stand saying he blew it dead. Chris Jones, however, stands in the end zone of Eastern with the ball in his hands, and RV fans are cheering as if they scored a touchdown. We'll wait for a call here because things are getting testy from both sides here. All of a sudden, in a game that has not had much fervor from either fan base in terms of real vested interest, but all of a sudden, emotions exploding here from both sides. Fans in the Eastern stand screaming, get on the ball, get on the ball. The ball is snapped here, and Logan Dawson lets one rip, although no one's moving. There's mass confusion taking place right now, folks. We're going to wait to try to get this all sorted out. I'll tell you what, though, it's added an extremely exciting element to this game. A game in which we've seen a lot of flags been thrown, a game in which we haven't seen a lot of scoring, and lately we've seen a ton of injuries. All of a sudden, man, sides, meaning the sides for RV and the sides for Eastern here, these fan bases just getting absolutely into it. And for good cause, because not sure what really happened there. The whistle was blown, but was the ball fumbled before the whistle was blown? It's an unfortunate circumstance of the high school levels. Unless the game is on television, you're not getting a replay. Unless Comcast is coming in and putting the game on television, you're not getting the ability to watch a replay. And even so, I don't even know if they're going to allow you to overturn a call. You might just have the luxury of being able to see you made a mistake. I don't know if they overturn calls like that at a high school level, and you're not getting it here, folks. It's going to be third down for Eastern. Handoff to the workhorse, the do-it-all man, Caden Ruba. Caden Ruba on countless occasions has stuck his nose in there on defense. I love using that term, especially for him. Sticks his nose in there, does the dirty work, as Steely Dan would say. Logan Dawson flips his running back to the bottom of the screen as opposed to the top. And now Dawson gives it off to his running back. His running back, again, Caden Ruba. Caden Ruba with a gain of 3 on 1st and 10 will bring up 2nd and 7. And we're at the 5-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. Can feel the energy from both of these fan bases. The excitement has heightened. The ceiling is the roof, as Michael Jordan would say. Doesn't really make any sense. I just wanted to say that in reference to Michael Jordan. 2nd and 6. Ooh-wee! And a big tackle there from Damian Peterson. Damian Peterson making himself felt. I felt that one all the way up here. It was a big hit. Damian Peterson does not shy away from contact and kind of put a hush over this Eastern crowd. Man, that was a lick from Damian Peterson. Play will continue. Trio stacked to the top of the screen for Eastern. We've seen that a few times from them. Handoff to number 7. The very seldomly used running back for Eastern, number 7, John Brennan, who had a positive carry earlier. This one not so positive, kind of strung out to the sideline at the bottom of the screen, and it'll bring up 4th down. Maybe the biggest play of this game. You know what? Take away the maybe. The biggest play of this game so far for the Eastern offense. Logan Dawson on 4th and 7. Going to be called upon to make a play for his team. Flips Brennan to the bottom of the screen, that trio stack. Logan Dawson going to have to find somebody from it. And that time, man, I'll tell you what, that was almost very good schoolyard action there, because his receiver that he intended to throw that ball to, Terry Cook, his main route there was just that bubble screen, and when it wasn't there, he saw his quarterback rolling out, and he tried to make something of it. Logan Dawson nearly found him on a zipper, but it just incomplete, outside of the reach of his receiver, Cook. And because of it, turnover on downs, 1st and 10 for RV with 3:08 left in the fourth quarter. RV so close, 3 minutes away from going 3-0 on the season and meeting Timber Creek in their home opener next week. Bellamy gets the handoff, bounces it outside as we've seen so many times. Bellamy stays in bounds just shy of the 1st down. Will bring up 2nd and 1. Bellamy, been an extremely efficient ball carrier tonight for RV, making the most of every carry that he gets, along with Malachi Castle. Sure, we've seen on a few occasions they've lost some yards, maybe didn't perform the way they would have liked to, but for the most part, they have really toted the rock well tonight for the Red Devils. Coach Garrett Lucas and his coaching staff can thank those guys immensely for their efforts tonight, and that offensive line just continuing to open up lanes for those guys. One of those instances I just mentioned a moment ago where Bellamy didn't gain positive yards, and that'll bring up 3rd and 1. So just like a batter in baseball, just like any sport, you're never going to hit 100% of the time. You can only hope to hit a majority of the times, have those percentages up, unlike Kyle Schwarber, who hits a home run every game but still bats 161. But that's for another day, folks. Under 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Nick Marco gives it to his stud in the backfield, Malachi Castle, and Malachi Castle nearly insulting the defense, saying, "That's all you've got? You're going to need more to bring me down." And they bring him down finally shy of the 50-yard line. Ball placed at the 48-yard line of RV. 1st and 10. Clock running. 1:16 left in the fourth quarter. RV not going to have to run many more plays. Got to wonder if they have to even run any plays. Actually, they might just be in victory formation here. Cause Eastern to call any of the remaining timeouts that they may have and put this one to sleep. Thought they might have gone the victory formation. They did not. Handed the ball off to Malachi Castle, and I do believe that flag is going to be a horse collar on the defense, which will only move the ball further for RV. Just want to give a shout out to our production crew here on the evening. Had some technical difficulties. We emerged through those, came out on the other side. We're here for you, folks. Glad to be here. Our producer, Vartan Sarkissian, our cameraman, Tony, have done an excellent job this evening of bringing you this broadcast. I'm just a small part of it, folks. I thank you so much for tuning in with us here. This collaborative effort on YouTube between SFBN and South Jersey Sports Talk. Been at it alone tonight. Not always the easiest thing to do when you got to do play-by-play and color, but the challenge is something that I wanted to take on full steam ahead. And if I do say so myself, I think it's been a great evening. Also want to send shout out to another part of our production crew, Sam Long. Sam Long took the trip to RV tonight, folks, thinking that the game was in RV. He was so excited for next week's game against Timber Creek. He wanted to meet us there a week early. But glad that Sam made his way to McAleer Stadium here in Voorhees, New Jersey safely. Came and joined us. Been a tremendous help. .7 seconds remain here in this game between the Rancocas Valley Red Devils and the Eastern Vikings. Talked about it on multiple occasions up until this point, but RV came into this game with a 2-0 record on the year. They beat Union at the Battle of the Beach on August 26th. 21-6 was the score. Then last week, they beat Patterson Eastside up in Patterson, New Jersey in that beautiful stadium. Won that one by a score of 32-14. And unless something crazy takes place, which almost just did because Montre Wilson refusing to go down along that far sideline, gains a first down for RV and absolutely puts this one to sleep. Now 30.6 seconds left in the game. So getting back to what I was just saying, though, they beat Patterson Eastside last week 32-14. Unless anything absurd takes place here, they will beat Eastern by a score of 8-0 and go into their game next week against Timber Creek at home opener, with a record of 3-0. For Eastern, again, foregoing any unforeseen circumstances, they will go to 1-2 on the year after tonight. Take on Hamilton next week at trying to determine whether it's at Hamilton. Yes, excuse me. It is at Hamilton. That'll be on September 14th. Excuse me for the confusion there. So, again, Eastern at Hamilton next week, September 14th. Hamilton came into tonight's game that they're playing at Highland with a record of 1-1. So it could be a matchup of 1-2s, or if Hamilton was able to get the victory tonight against Highland, they'll be playing a 2-1 Hamilton team. Eastern really, really, really played a tough game tonight, folks. One takeaway for them would be that they were in this game the entire time. I mean, look, the score's an indicator of it. But RV just did enough at the right times to separate themselves by a thin margin. I mean, 8 points is not a lot of points. Pick up that newspaper tomorrow, see a lot of high school scores in it. You'll see much, much more vast differences in some scores across the board than you'll see here. I mean, for lack of a better example, Eastern lost last week by 46 points. So sometimes in high school you see some large discrepancies between point totals. This one, Eastern fought their butts off to hang in this one. But it just won't be enough. Some confusion right now between the clock operator up here in the broadcast booth and our officials down on the field, but I think we've gotten sorted out. 23 seconds left on the clock. 2nd and goal. Nick Marco lined up at quarterback. Montre Wilson is the running back. So Montre Wilson gets the handoff. Brought down short of the end zone. One of those offensive linemen for RV just drove his man all the way into the back of the end zone. Got to give him credit there. That was number 57, Tyrese Downing, and Tyrese Downing just pancaked his man. And that will do it, folks. This one is over, and Rancocas Valley will improve to 3-0 on the season under head coach Garrett Lucas. Folks, my name was Steven Anderson. I thank you so much for tuning into this broadcast that was brought to you by SFBN and South Jersey Sports Talk here on YouTube. Next week, I will be on the call when Rancocas Valley hosts Timber Creek in their home opener. Until then, it was a pleasure, and I'll talk to you soon.